Hey guys, I'm going to read a little bit extra from my new book Lola in the Middle. Now this is a little bit in the story where Lola, who's in the netball team, has to stay home while her team goes and plays a really important game. The reason she has to stay home, well, you'll have to read to find that out. But she's waiting in this section of the story to find out what the score is, to find out if the team has won, to find out if they're going to make it to the state finals. Here we go. I'll keep you posted on the score, Mrs. Robinson told me when I headed to class after the bell. The game starts at 10:30 and Mariella said she's going to text me after each quarter. She crossed her fingers and made an excited face. Can't wait. But the morning dragged. I looked at the clock and looked at it again. The minutes were long. The seconds seemed to have spaces between them. Every sentence I wrote or maths question I did took up space in my brain that I wanted to keep for netball. Would we win? What would the score be? Would we make it through? When the minute hand ticked to 10:30, my heart jumped. 15 minutes before we would find out what happened in the first quarter. Mrs. Robinson grinned at me across the classroom. It's killing me. I know. I tried hard to focus on the reading and comprehension cards I was supposed to be doing, but the paragraphs rolled into each other, and even when I'd read it 3 times, I still had no idea what the first question was talking about. Ooh, Lola! Mrs. Robinson's head snapped up. She held up her phone. Just got it! My eyes opened wide. Really? We're up 3. It's 9-12. I let out a breath I didn't even know I was holding. My mouth felt dry, so I took a sip from my water bottle and willed on my team in my head. Come on, girls! Use your arms, Indy. Tasha, focus and point. I could picture them standing around Mariella getting instructions for the next quarter, puffed but pumped. With only 7 on the court, they'd all have to play the whole game. The next half hour was exhausting. Who knew that waiting could be such an effort? Mrs. Robinson put her phone volume up so she could hear when the text came in, and each time it went ping, my head shot up, waiting for news. It's 14-18 our way, she said after the second quarter. I breathed again, in preparation for the next 15-minute wait. The ping went again and Mrs. Robinson looked at her phone. 28-24. She shook her head. The other team's up by 4. That's not good. Our girls are getting tired, I said. My fingers felt tight. They might not have enough energy to pull it back at the end. They will, said Mrs. Robinson, but she looked worried. Our girls are fit, and they want it. She shifted in her seat and gave me a big grin. Anyway, they have to pull through, otherwise they'll be in trouble when they get back to class. I laughed, but it wasn't funny. There were only 15 minutes left. All our hopes could be dashed in just a short amount of time. Come on, Indy, stop their goals. Come on, Tash, get ours in. I willed them on with every breath. We had to make it. We just had to. 13 minutes ticked by. 14 minutes. Finally, the clock hands showed that a full 15 minutes, plus the time we'd allowed for rest breaks, had gone by since the last message. We'd get a message soon. We waited. There was no ping. This is totally killing me, said Mrs. Robinson. She was sitting over near my desk now, her phone in her hand, just waiting. Around us, the Year 6 boys and all of Year 5 were letting off a gentle hum of noise as they finished off some artwork. They have to text soon, I said. It's been too long. The clock was up to 17 minutes. 18. Do you think they've lost and they don't want to tell us? There was a wave of fear in my chest. Maybe they're blaming me. I should have been there. Suddenly the phone rang. Mrs. Robinson stood up with it, as if she was snatching it away from someone. Yes? Her face was expectant. And? I held my breath. Oh, that's great! Fantastic! She clicked the phone off. I breathed carefully, trying not to get my hopes up. Lola, we won! I blinked. Really? She put her hands up in the air. You guys made it to state finals! A cheering sound echoed around me. I was kind of aware that the rest of Year 5 and 6 were clapping and calling out, but it seemed far away. We made it? I still couldn't believe it. They won? You won, said Mrs. Robinson, grinning. It's your team too. It was 33-29. 9 goals from us in the last quarter. The other team only put 1 in. Wow. The noise was still swirling around me. I felt weird. Not diabetes weird, but different weird. Just like my body didn't work the way it was supposed to, it was like my feelings weren't working the way they were supposed to. We won. I'm supposed to be happy. The thought was hammering on my brain, but I wasn't smiling. I couldn't even begin a smile. We won, but I'm sad. We'd made the finals, achieved our dreams, played amazingly. So what was wrong with me? This was not what was supposed to happen. And that's from Lola in the Middle. You guys can go get your copy and find out what happens at the state finals.